Hey, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to start a new little series here on my channel. Well, I'm going to give it a go. We're going to give it a trial go, and it's called, as you can see from the title, New Things Tuesday. I was just had loads of random thoughts the other day of different videos I want to film, so I was just writing them down so I don't forget, and then all of a sudden New Things Tuesday just popped into my head. I was like, this can be a good idea. So basically what I was thinking of doing is, so every Tuesday I'm gonna basically try new things. It's not gonna be like a full face first impressions, it's just gonna be a handful of products that I haven't used before and mixed in with products that I have used. So it's going to be a full tutorial, but I'm going to focus on 4, 5, 6 different products that I've never used before, because I like to try new stuff out on camera, and you can see as well then how everything is applying, how it's going on. So we're kind of, you know, testing it out together. And also with a full face first impressions, those tutorials can be quite long because you're going in depth to every single product that you're using. Today I tried about 6 new products, so I mainly focused on those 6 and gave you my full honest feedback and what I thought of the product as I was using it, so you can see how it's working for the first time. And then I'm also still doing a makeup tutorial, because I know that's why you're here to see makeup tutorials, that's what you enjoy. So I wanted to kind of bring it all into one, so let's just get into it. I'm gonna try a new primer, which I usually don't like to use a new primer when I'm using a new foundation. The reason why I don't like trying a new primer and a new foundation at the same time is because sometimes they don't work together, and then I don't know if it's the primer fault, if it's the foundation fault, and then I have to try the foundation again and blah 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 blah. I got this package from Guerlain, I think it's pronounced, ages ago, and I never used it. I got this oil thing, which I might use today as well, but it's called L'Or, L''O''R. It says it is a radiance concentrate with pure gold makeup base, so I feel like it's going to be hydrating. It feels nice and wet, which is good. I feel like that will add the moisture in. Kind of hard to give you a first impression on a primer, because primers are something that you need to wear throughout the day and see how it wears and see how your skin reacts to it. But I'll keep you up to date with that one. So far feels good, my skin doesn't feel tight or anything like that. So the new foundation I'm trying today is from YSL. It's called All Hours. It is a full coverage foundation with a matte finish. Picked this up yesterday, so we're going to give it a go. I picked up the shade BD30. Okay, I'm just going to apply this with a sponge. Okay, so far this foundation is looking nice. It feels nice. My skin hasn't dried out or anything like that. You know the way sometimes when you put a foundation on, almost instantly sucks all the moisture out of your skin. That's usually why I avoid matte foundations, because I feel like it does that to my skin. But this is really nice. It kind of still has kept that radiance, which I am all for. It's full coverage, but it's still skin-like. Sometimes some full coverages are so full coverage that it's almost like a mask, whereas I like a full coverage that's skin-like. So I definitely think this has hit the mark in that one for me. I have to say though, I am lately more drawn towards the higher end products, because I just feel like they're just performing better than your other middle of the road products. I feel like the higher end products have kept the quality over quantity, because I feel like some brands are just constantly coming out with new products and they're not always great, you know. They're just losing the quality of the products just to bring out more and more and more. That's just my 2 cents on that. We could be on to a new favorite foundation. I'm just going to jump into Shape Tape, which is not a new product. I have a few new ones today to try. So we're just going to highlight under the eyes and the T-zone, and I'm just blending it in with the same beauty sponge. And then I'm just going to set that, taking my Hourglass translucent powder. And I'm just setting this with the sponge. I'm liking this technique lately. I feel like it just helps melt the powder into my skin and just gives it that really nice skin finish while setting the concealer. I'm also just going to take a big fluffy brush and just take the tiniest amount of powder, and I'm going to lightly press this around the rest of the face because I am going to bronze and contour using powder. So I don't want it to go patchy. But I don't want to take away all the radiance from the foundation. So I find that this just helps it set slightly. I'm not sure if this is going to be dark enough for me, but this is a new product that I haven't tried before. I do have it, I think I got it around Christmas time. When I use products like this, I tend to go for the medium shade because the bronzer is dark enough for me. Whereas sometimes these fairer ones are just too light. They just don't show up the way I want it to on my skin. This is from Jouer. It's the Film Star Bronze and Glow. And it's a face sculpt and highlight product. So it has a sculpting contour shade here and then a highlight shade. I'm going to start with the sculpt shade. Oh, actually, that just gives it that oh, I like it actually. This has surprised me. I really thought this was going to be too dark or too light, but it just gives that really nice contour. Just going to bronze around my hairline just to add a bit more dimension. And I like doing this around here too because I feel like it helps pull the contour and everything just like all together rather than just have a contour. And I think this would be really gorgeous on even lighter skin than me because it's really cool and really soft. And what I like about it as well, it's not overly powdery looking on the skin. We'll go back to the highlight bit. I do highlight after I do my eyes, but until then I'm going to jump in and do my eyes. So for my eyes today, I am using a palette from Kylie Cosmetics, which I have never used any of her eyeshadows before. I only recently tried one of her liquid lipsticks like 2 weeks ago. I would like to know if the products are actually just good, irregardless whether you like Kylie Jenner or the Kardashians or whatever. I just wanted to try the product out for the product just to see. I picked this one up. This one is the Bronze Extended palette. I did want to get another one of her palettes that like had a bit more colour to it, but so many of them were sold out, so I just grabbed this one. So I haven't even swatched it. I have had this palette for weeks and I haven't swatched it because I really just want to use it for the first time on camera. So the first shade that I'm going to go in with is the shade Tiger Eye. Let's see what happens. They seem to blend pretty easily, which is what you want in an eyeshadow. Okay, so far so good. Builds up nicely. I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Citrine just to warm it up slightly. I'll see how this layers over this. Nice. Just added that little bit of warmth to it. I like this colour. This one seems to be a little bit more pigmented than the first shade. I'm now going to take a bit of the dark shade. It's called, sorry I don't have my glasses on, I think it's called Bronzite. The first brush I use is a BH Cosmetics number 6 brush. It's a nice big fluffy brush. And I'm going to change it now to a BH Cosmetics number 7 brush. So it's a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to define the crease slightly with this. More so on the outer part of the crease. When that first went on, I didn't think it was that pigmented, but it actually was pigmented just enough. I'm just going to tidy up underneath here with just my sponge. Just going to pull the shadow out a little bit more. And I take this lovely shade here. It's called Copper. I'm just going to wet my brush with some Fix Plus. And then go into the shade Copper. And I'm just going to start by putting this on the lid. The reason why I wet my brush before is because when I use a damp brush with a shimmer product, it helps just really pack the product on and intensify the shadow as much as possible. So that's it with the Copper shade on, which I'm liking how it's all coming together. So another new thing that I'm going to try is the new Dose of Colors eyeliners. So they are a little twist up liner. And it twists back down as well if you wind it up too much, which is good. I hate the ones that wind up and then they don't wind back down. Like, how much of an inconvenience are those pencils? And then also underneath here they have a little sharpener, so you can just like twist it in and get a nice point on that again. I'm going to take the shade Unbox, which is a really nice coppery shade. So I'm gonna go along my lower lash line. I'm not sure how these set. I'm gonna take a little small shader and blend this out before it dries. They dry pretty quick, so you want to work fast with these. I'm going to take some of the shade Goddess, which is very similar colour to the eyeliner, and I'm just going to go on top or underneath it. Helps keep everything set all day so it doesn't go smudgy. It literally stays in place all day. I notice my nose is separating a little bit, so I don't know if that's the foundation or the concealer, or the foundation or the primer. See what I mean about using a foundation and a primer that are new? I don't know which one is making it do that. Everywhere else seems to be okay. Taking some of the shade Topaz and Citrine, and I'm going to use these colours to blend this out. We get rid of that harsh line. I don't know if my thing just stopped recording. It's going to really piss me off if it did. If it did stop recording, I used the Dose of Colours black liner in my waterline. It went on really smooth. The pigment is really, really good when you put it on. You pretty much get it in one swipe. This eye feels a little irritated, but I feel like I have a bit of eyeshadow in there, so I'm going to put some drops in my eyes. But overall, I don't feel irritated. I have very sensitive eyes, and a high percentage of eyeliners that I put in my waterline irritate. That's why I always wear the Marc Jacobs, because it never irritates my eyes. It always just goes on, stays put, and I never have to worry about it. So we'll see how this one goes. I'm going to do some eyeliner today because I got the new roller liner from Benefit and I want to give it a go. These felt tip types are usually the liner that I always go for anyway, so I decided to try this one out today. I'm just going to start by doing my wing here to map it out. Ooh, she's gonna be a big one today. Whoops. And then I like to just drag it back in. And I just fill in all the little gaps. Yes, Benefit, you did good on this one. And it slides along the skin really nicely as well. Sometimes I get some and then it's like and it drags, and then you have bits. I just can't deal with eyeliners like that. So this liner is a definite yes for me straight away. I'm just going to use my regular Marc Jacobs mascara. Also, my eyes feel fine now. So I think it was just a little bit of eyeshadow that was in my eye that irritated it. It wasn't the liner. I usually notice it straight away. Like as I do it, I'll start to get a little watery eye at the side. So I think this should be fine. I'm going to pop my Lily lashes on now. So now I'm finished the eyes. I just want to say that I actually really like this palette. I don't have any issues with it. Everything blended how it was supposed to. I will buy more of her palettes in the future. That's why I wanted to like buy this and try for myself, because I feel like so many people will just hate on Kylie Cosmetics because they don't like Kylie or they don't like the Kardashians or whatever the case is. I just wanted to try the product out for what it was and I have no complaints. The eyeliners seem great. I have no irritation. The test is now how long it lasts throughout the day, if it can beat Marc Jacobs. That is the question. The liquid liner, perfect. Definitely one that I'm going to be using a lot more of. But I'm going to go in now, I'm going to highlight. I'm going to go back to the Jouer palette and I'm going to take the highlight shade. And we'll see how this highlights. For me, it's a little too pink. I don't particularly like the pink hue of a highlight, but that's just a personal preference. The highlight went on pretty nice, seamless. It's a good highlight. Just the colour for me is just not a highlight shade I usually gravitate towards, but we'll finish it off for the sake of the tutorial. The light version of a highlight contour palette, the light is always has like a pinky hue to it, because not all pale people want to have that pink hue of a highlight. I like to have the bronzy tone, like the champagne highlight shade, because it still adds the bronziness to my skin. So this palette to me, probably won't use it that much. I do like the contour. I think it's a very pretty contour, but the highlight, I am going to take a bit of the highlight shade though and just put it in the inner corners of my eyes, just for a little pop. I'm gonna put a bit of blush on today. This is the Makeup Geek Romance blush. It's not a new shade. I've used it a good few times. I'm just gonna add a little bit of colour. I'm gonna take the Fenty Beauty lip paint in the shade Uncuffed. Not a new product. I have used this one before. I just kind of like the contrast of cool tone, warm tone. So that is it. We're done. I hope you liked this concept. I enjoyed making this video because I got to do a tutorial that I know that's why you're here, is to watch makeup and learn. But then I also got to try out new products and talk about them because I do like doing reviews. And I feel like sometimes doing like full face reviews just take up so much time when I'm doing it because I have to go in depth in every single product. Whereas at least this way I get to just kind of focus on, you know, 3, 4, 5 different products and just like go in depth onto those products. I prefer doing this type. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'd also love to hear different products that you want to see me use, or brands, or whatever the case is. Let me know below and I will absolutely check them out. Don't forget to check my description box where I'm going to leave just some more info on how this makeup wore. If you have any questions on any of the products that I used, let me know below and I will answer as best I can. Keep glowing and I'll see you in my next one.